Yo, what's going on, guys? The Kitty G on EG. Why do I say EGTV every time? I still need to get used to that. Egal talks football, and we're back again with another video. Hopefully you guys can smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're watching us on the playback or you're watching live, there will be timestamps so you can watch it afterwards also, and you can just click on the timestamps to what part of the show you want to watch. But yeah, it's been a crazy weekend. Tottenham lost to Liverpool. Mo Salah bagged the brace, and Liverpool get their away win for the first time in a long time. Chelsea got outclassed by Arsenal. It was a 1-0 win, but we can all say that it was gonna only end one way. And also you have Manchester United getting destroyed by Aston Villa. Erling Haaland saving the day for Manchester City. Newcastle looking like a top four threat. And some other games happening that we're gonna also discuss during the weekend, such as the crazy Leeds game. Did you guys see that game? That was mental. There was it had, what was it, like a 4 goal thriller or a 3 goal thriller? I mean,
4-3 it
what was it,
finished,
eight
yeah.
goals? Eight
Seven
goals?
goals, 7 goals.
7 goal thriller? Absolutely
Yeah.
nuts. But yeah, people in the chat, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, throw some W's in the chat if you can hear us. We are live right now. Alan's gonna be rolling through. Rom is gonna be rolling through. All the men are gonna be rolling through very soon. But yo, first things first, Mojo, how you feeling, bro? After getting outclassed, were you there live?
Yeah, I was there, bro. Do you have to keep saying, outclassed, outclassed? It's 1-0 win, man. Well done, you guys won,
It was a 1-0 win, but it was not a. It was not. It was almost like City.
bro.
Very
Okay, let me ask you like an objective question, in it, like based on the performances you've seen so far from your club, was that one of the performances that you think was up there for you lot?
we didn't finish our chances. If we would have scored a couple more goals, if Odegaard would have finished his dinner, and Jesus would have been a little bit taller and got to the ball, then it would have been a 3-0 victory. If the scoreline was a little bit if the scoreline was a little bit bigger of a margin, I would have said it was our best performance. But Nottingham Forest last week was probably one of our better performances.
Yeah, I mean, personally for me, like having watched Arsenal's games, like I'm not gonna say I've watched all 13 games. I don't think that was like one of your best performances. I think it was a performance that was definitely worthy of you guys winning. Don't get me wrong, but it didn't feel like your best performance as a team. And but it felt like a team that pretty much clearly was going to win this damn game. If anyone was going to win, it was you lot. It was definitely not us. A draw for us was going to look like a win to us. That's how bad we played today. Like it was just shocking performance from us, and a deserved win for you guys, man. I mean, the only thing I'm going to say is I said this last week, but you lot kept on telling me we're going to wait for this Chelsea result and then say from there where we're at, and then we can talk about title contenders and stuff. I just would love to know where are Arsenal fans at this week?
You
You've
know
won
what?
the
It's not
Chelsea game.
right now. It's not about titles. It's not about all that. Right now, we're just talking about the game. Let's talk about the game first. We'll get to titles and everything at the end, maybe. Because right
Hmm.
now, I feel like you're taking away from the actual result, and you're just making it. Because I want to talk about the result. I don't want to just talk about the end
Bro,
product.
it's literally
Because we
one
are
goal.
still, we
It
are
was
still
literally
going to
one
be,
goal.
we are still going to be at the top of the table come the World Cup. We are still going to be, uh, in and amongst the pack at the top of the table. So if you want to consider that a title challenge, you can consider that a title challenge. Personally, for me, we would you can call it a title challenge, but I don't believe it's going to be considered a title challenge until it's later in the season where you see this after 20 games. That's when people will say, you know what, they actually competed. After game week 20, if we're nowhere near City, no one's going to remember the fact that we finished at the top of the table after Euros. I mean, after the World Cup. But hey, forget about that, bro. My team defensively were solid. A midfield outstanding. The only thing that let us down is we couldn't finish our dinner on the other end. But yeah, let me know, people in the chat, what you guys thought about the game. Shout out to everyone coming over from the raid right now from Never a Foul. I can see all you guys jumping over right now. Big up to everyone over there at Never a Foul. My guy Dabs, Kaz, and all the men over there, as you guys already know. People saying it was 3-1 Man United. You know what? People want to talk about the 3-1 Man United, but let's just talk about the Arsenal Chelsea game first.
Hmm.
Bro, Saliba and Partey were world class today. You seen them first class, first with your eyes live. How good were they?
I thought they were good. I thought they did their jobs fantastically and nullified our front players. But I'll be honest, we played against ourselves. Big up, Roms. And I don't know, man. Like I would love to have seen us test them more as players, but I felt like we tried our very best to try and keep Partey away from the game. But as the game sort of carried on, pretty much his comfortability and Arsenal's comfortability was very evident, and it was very difficult for Chelsea to try and get into the game and put their sort of stamp on it, so that we can then start to dictate the game and start doing the things that we needed to do. Felt like a game that was very much and accustomed to what Arsenal needed it to be. And you guys controlled the tempo of the game. You guys controlled how and when things happen, pretty much. And we were very bad at just and killing off any sort of opportunities we could have created ourselves, because we once again struggled to even play out from the back, which is another shocking performance. But hey, I have seen a few too many of these this season so far, so I wasn't surprised. I think Saliba's definitely a player that he's showing what he's definitely worth, but it's one of those things where I'm like, based on what we were seeing last year at Marseille, like this kid deserved the chance ages ago. So I'm glad he's finally getting the plaudits he deserves, and he's been given the opportunity at your club that he deserves. And it's great to see that he's not only grabbing it, but he's showing that he's one of the leaders of the squad. You wouldn't think this is his first actual full season with Arsenal. That's how good he's playing right now. Thomas Partey, I think for me, and he's definitely gone past the stage where there's errors in his game, or like he does certain stupidness or anything like that. He seems like a player that is very well assured of himself, and he's showing exactly the qualities that you lot signed him for. So it's good to see for you lot. I think Arsenal have a lot to say this season in terms of how things go. Arsenal fans might not want to admit it, but I think your players are showing you that they're ready to fight for whatever sort of things that are ready for them to fight on. So yeah, we'll see how you guys progress. But I
And you
think
know
you lot
what?
played well, man.
I hear from the players every day. They're just saying take it one game at a time. So I don't want to really get too much into the title stuff. Can we actually stick to the game? The game itself is this everything everyone expected? Rom, when you thought about when you were going into the game, Dammy, when you're going to the game,
Yeah,
we call it Vader.
I
Was this
can't.
exactly what you expected, or was it? Because
I
I
can't.
think Chelsea were lucky they kept the score down. It
I
could have
can't lie
been
to
more.
you.
That's what I was gonna say. Go
I
on.
was going to say yes, everything that I expected. I can't lie to you. I thought you would actually crash on them a little bit more than I expected.
Yeah.
I thought 3-4 because I just thought Chelsea's whole team is a mess, and I thought Arsenal with form and all the swagger, the midfield, you overran them. I was expecting 3-4. I think Chelsea were decent defensively in the back two, but their wing backs are just terrible. And I think it was a little bit of a test given the fact that Arsenal are normally ridiculed for not being good away from home in the big games. You came through it. You got your goal. Yeah, it's true. You don't really play well away from home in the big games, and you came through it. You scored your goal and you held out. I didn't think at any point during the game.
No, but the reason why I made that face is because Mojo can tell you himself, Stamford Bridge has been a good hunting ground for Arsenal.
Yeah, okay, Stamford Bridge is good, but everywhere else isn't. But yeah, fair enough. Yeah, you normally do win there. You held out, you got your goal, you held out, and you went out there. So congrats.
Newcastle. We're going to be talking about
Hey, Kendall, take it easy. Take it easy, man.
Or we can keep it back to the
I
sticks.
really believe
Newcastle replace Spurs. That's
no,
all.
I think Newcastle's a better team than Chelsea at this moment in time. I think Newcastle right now are a better team than Liverpool.
Not better.
I think Newcastle right now are a better team than Man United.
No, we
when
played
it comes
them.
to consistency, can they sustain it throughout the season? I don't know. But let's get back to Arsenal. Let's get back to Arsenal quickly. I'm just gonna say this: Chelsea did not show anything to us. They didn't show anything to us. Oh, shout out to Almiron also. Jack Grealish, he did a job on that guy. He did a job. Like, bro, the way that guy's transformed his career, like I want somebody to make fun of me the way Jack Grealish transformed that guy's career. It's crazy. But yo, let's get back into it. Who's Sam's in the house? Alan's a runner. Bro, yeah. Alan messaged me. He said he's gonna be late. So yes, Alan right now he's looking like a runner. Facts.
Yeah, he's running to get here.
But you know what? It was very difficult to get a Liverpool fan last week. So let's not lie.
Ooh, that's true, my guy. That's true.
You know how many guys I asked? I was begging Hussam. I was asking you. I asked Mons. I asked LFC Saints. Last week was a madness. I couldn't find a Liverpool fan. You guys are ready now. But yo, getting back to Arsenal quickly. I feel like there's not much to talk about Arsenal, guys. It's getting boring. We just keep winning. What do you guys want to say?
Hold on, Egal. If you looking at that match, did you not expect more based off of Chelsea's quality, though?
From Chelsea or from Arsenal?
From Arsenal. Like, did you not expect? I get you. I get it. You got the win, but didn't you expect more of a controlling performance with regards to locking them down, not giving them a sniff. Like
We didn't give them a sniff. Did they have a chance? Like, I don't remember them having a chance in the game. Defensively, we did lock them down. The thing that I was worried about is that we didn't actually continue to go and score on the other end, right? Shout out to Husam every single time. Yes, my guy. Big up to Husam, of course. And just to say, guys, don't forget to hit that like button also. Big up to Rums also. Where's Prime? Prime was telling that
Big up,
fool,
Mr.
yo, Prime and them will come back on Monday. We gotta talk. We gotta bring the Chelsea fans on Monday because today,
Gal, that was epic last night. I was just
Bro.
watching that with my
What,
phone.
what,
That
can
was
I can I ask what happened? Because clearly I must have missed something.
last night, I had Chelsea fans doing civil war on themselves because one guy said you guys are gonna
It
lose
was a
4-1.
mess.
Another guy said you're gonna win 3-1. Another guy said Jorginho's your worst player. Another guy said Mason Mount's your worst player. And then they kept fighting with each other.
It was
And I was just
chaos,
sitting
man.
there. I was just
Goddamn.
sitting there.
mm,
I was just sitting there, and then I had to cut it. I had to cut it off by the time Prime and Yasin were saying to each other, "You're a
You
child,"
mean
and
to
the other
tell
guy-
me an Arsenal fan had to be a mediator in Chelsea civil war?
They needed
Yeah.
you, though. No, they
God
needed you.
damn.
Bro, you missed it. This morning, no, 2 days ago, Billy was crying in a space. She's saying, "What are you gonna do? My team's gonna lose. We're shit." I was like, okay. I didn't even make fun of Chelsea fans, really. I can't make fun of you because you said to me this was gonna happen. I can't make fun of Bice because Bice reluctantly picked Chelsea to do well, but he still thought that there's a big possibility of them losing. Every Chelsea fan I spoke to
okay,
has
okay,
either
but
said they're gonna lose or reluctantly said they're gonna draw. The only person I can make fun of is the person who came, the person who has been hiding for like 5 months on Twitter. Those are the only guys that I can really make fun of. Everyone else has been.
Well, okay,
and Johnny Bananas.
let's not make fun. Let's not make fun. All right, I'm here. I kind of bring a little evenness to it. Let's not make fun. Let's look at Chelsea though, based off of this game.
Okay.
Are they what we expect them to be? Is this a you will compete
Chelsea
in
are in
top
a rebuild.
6?
Chelsea are in a
like
rebuild. And they
Chelsea
spent 280 million last year, but somehow it didn't make their squad any better. I don't know how. It basically, because of the players they lost, the defenders that they lost, they had to replace those defenders, and they spent a large portion of their money trying to get Koulibaly and Fofana, who aren't even playing in this game. So it's like they are a worse off team right now because of the lack of consistency, the manager change, and even though they brought players in, they still haven't embedded into the team. So in my opinion, Chelsea right now are in the beginning of a rebuild, but their fans still expect them to be achieving as if they're the end product.
Mo,
not
can
realistic.
I ask you this? Do you believe in the Chelsea rebrand where you guys are going to move to truly be housewives or house husbands? Are you guys going to commit
up
to this
yourself.
manager? You're going to commit to this manager and not look for any quick changes. You're going to ride this out.
I think based on the new owners, yes. If you said to me like with the previous owners, there's no way I believe them. And I think these new owners, clearly based on the contract they've given, based on what they're doing behind the scenes, to actually set up the structure that we need long term. And it's fairly obvious right now that what they were looking for was things to align. And unfortunately, Tuchel just didn't align with what they had in mind for the club. And I don't think it's done any favors for Potter, though. When you think about it, he's a philosophy manager first. And then for a philosophy manager not to have any preseason, to have no transfer window where he can sign players that are more familiar with what he needs, it's going to be a difficult sort of ride for him. And unfortunately, he's had some decent results. But I always say with any one of the managers that we get, you're going to have difficult periods. And when these difficult periods strike, you're going to get to learn about the mentality of our squad, which I have been saying for years has been our biggest sort of hurdle to come over, because we can sign as many good players as we want. But when you have players that unfortunately give up as soon as things get tough, in a game like today, for me, like it's a game that I don't think you need motivation. I don't even think a team talk is required, bro. The game should have already like written itself in terms of
I hear that.
what sort of effort and game plan they should have been. But in reality, what I watched was players that just genuinely looked afraid of even trying to play the game. And I was just like, you're there for the taking. And I'm like, defensively, we look like we're not going to concede. But I said, all it takes is one dodgy set piece or a good set piece that works out well. And bam, I think I can see you lot scoring or us making a mistake and then us conceding from that. And I'm like, when they scored from the set piece, you think I was shocked? I was just like, yep, this has been coming. We don't look like we're going to score. At best, this is going to be a 0-0, and that's us like leaving with a little bit of, some sort of self-respect and saying, you know what, we defended well today. We'll take the point and leave that way. But honestly, like, there's not really a lot I can say about this performance. All I can say is Arsenal deserved it. And do I think this is Arsenal's best performance? Did I expect them to have a better game plan against us today? Yeah, I did. I generally expected them to score a lot more goals than this. But it is what it is. Do you get what I mean? I think Arsenal right now are the better team, and I'm not like embarrassed or annoyed to say that. It's staring me in the face, bro. The top of the table.
You know what? Your manager said it too. He said, "I hate to say it, but fair play. Arsenal are a good team." And it's like, I just feel like at this point we are showing everybody who we are, but everyone's just trying to talk about the title. So if you guys really want to go,
you guys are scared of talking about the title, bro. Let's be frank.
I'm not scared about it anymore.
No, you are, bro. You are.
This is my stance.
Absolutely are. Come on, Igal, man. Like literally, we spoke about this last week.
You're afraid of commitment, Igal. Commit.
This is my stance. At this moment in time, Arsenal at the top of the table, and until City come and take us off, we are basically considered to be in a title race. That's the reality.
So you're gonna win it. Are you gonna win it?
Doesn't mean we're gonna win it. It just means we're in a title race. That's the reality.
And I think that's fair to say. Right now, as things currently stand, you are the one team that has been as consistent as you need them to be in that regard. And honestly speaking, if you can carry this shit on, there's no reason to say Arsenal are not in this picture.
No, but it doesn't mean I'm sitting here and saying we are going to categorically win it. All I'm saying is
you don't need to, though.
Because the thing is, the premise that comes with title challenge is, what's the point of saying then you're going to change? People are just going to change it. It's going to constantly change. The needle's always changing. So first it was, your title challenges. Then it's going to be, if you don't win, eventually they're going to turn it into thing is if you don't win. Like you've seen it, Rom. You've seen it with your own team.
Eventually, yes, it does.
It's true.
Eventually it does, but you're not at that eventually yet. Right now, though, as things currently stand, none of us, including Arsenal fans, expected you to be where you are, but you are. No. And I think it's fair to say, you are in the title contention.
How is it a 3-horse race, Tommy? I'm confused. Who's the third person in the race?
Hey, I hope he doesn't say Chelsea, because I swear down.
I think he's going to say Newcastle.
Oh my God, he said Tottenham. You can't write them off.
For real?
Have you seen them?
Alan, is one of your subscribers? Is Thompson one of your subscribers?
I don't know who Thomas is. Thomason. There's a nice Tottenham fan channel called Time Added On. Subscribe to that channel. My friend.
Yeah, the link is in the chat, people. Well, Alan, let's hear from Alan quickly, and then we'll hear from
which game.
The Arsenal game, of course. The outclassing of Chelsea today.
Okay. So, to be fair, I thought it was going to be a tight game. I predicted a 1-0. So I thought it was going to be tight. Just Chelsea didn't show up. And the thing that annoys me with that is the fact is they show up for Spurs. They always show up for Spurs. But when they're at home against Arsenal, they tend not to show up. And it really winds me up. I'm like,
we're a better team than you. That's why.
Yeah. What was that? Sorry?
We're a better team than you. We came to their ground and we dominated.
No, but hold on. You weren't last season. And you weren't the other season where you beat 1-0 and you finished about 8. So what I'm saying is, at home, they tend not to...
I'll stop being emotional and I'll let you finish. My apologies.
They don't tend not to show up at all, against Arsenal at home. But, yeah, I mean, looking back at that performance, you outplayed them. I don't do you any disservice. I just say they don't tend to show up against you guys. I don't know what else I can say. Chelsea, for me, I think he picked the wrong team. I'm surprised Kovacic didn't start from the beginning, not unless he had a knock that I weren't aware of. But he should have started. I think Aubameyang shouldn't have started the game. I think it was a bit of I think that made you predictable in the way it was going to go through to Aubameyang and play. That I think Arsenal knew the way it was going to play with Aubameyang being in the team.
He got set up, man.
What was that? Sorry?
He got set up, man. It was a complete setup by BT Sports.
For me, He outplayed you. Used their game plan was to isolate one-on-ones, and every time the ball came forward to your guys, you couldn't hold up, and they had the ball and they just kept coming at you. So fair play to Arsenal. They where they deserve to be at this moment in time. I hate saying it, but they are playing well. They've just got to maintain and sustain. We'll see after the World Cup, February, March, where it gets to where they lie. But at the moment, they can't. No one can say they're not deserving where they need to be.
Can I just say as well with the Aubameyang thing? I feel like everyone will agree on this channel. He was in the stream. Sorry, he was either gonna have an absolute stinker or a great game. There was no in between with Aubameyang today.
He was always gonna have a stinker.
He
was a ghost every big game we played against every team except for Tottenham at home.
He scored. He scored against us.
No, Gal. With that being said, you got a point because I don't ever remember Aubameyang turning up against.
He scored against us. He scored against us.
Community Shield when it didn't really matter. It's Community Shield. That's probably
besides
about
Tottenham and maybe did he even score against Chelsea?
Chelsea in the FA Cup final, bro. Yeah, he did, bro. FA Cup final, not in the Premier League though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, same for us. I don't think he scored against us in the Premier League.
Aubameyang tended to ghost in these big games. So going into this game, everyone kept saying Aubameyang's going to score. Aubameyang's going to score. I always knew he wasn't going to score. I always said we're never going to give him a chance. Did you guys see our two center backs today? They were on a mission. Like they were on a mad mission to stop anything that he had to do. And when our center back scored, and he did what he did. Did you guys see what he did? By the way, he went by Aubameyang and went and then laughed in his face after he scored, and then after went online and posted nothing personal. So it's like
you can tell in it. Arteta did the team talk very easily, man. He just turned on that BT Sports thing and he said, "Yo, this is what this guy is saying. Nothing personal. We need to show him a lesson today."
By the way, Dami, tell him who you support.
Man United.
Good evening, my friend. Don't worry. Anyways,
you're a dick.
Anyways,
everyone
in the chat.
The last time you played a good evening side, what happened? I don't know what you're saying.
What happened the last time you played them?
Okay, we lost today. Today we lost.
What about you? Before that too.
No, I'm before that.
Don't forget the Europa League.
Europa.
That trophy. We've won that trophy.
Bro, if you're gonna shoot, make sure you don't
won that fire. We've won that trophy. You haven't. That meant more to you than it meant.
Did you beat Emery though?
It meant more to you than it meant. Actually, that's cap. The last time we played him after that was in the Champions League group stages. There you go. It was twice.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you played in the group stages. Okay, fair enough. Listen, I'm just gonna swiftly move past that and let's just say this. Aubameyang. Anybody here thought Aubameyang is going to go to Chelsea and he's gonna absolutely hit the ground running? Because I always thought that he was gonna flop. By the way, Rum, do you have long hair in that picture?
Yo, yeah, it's an old picture. It's an old picture. It's a couple of years
I was wondering, but yeah. Anyways, continue. You're gonna say?
Do you know what with Aubameyang? It's simple as because Chelsea don't really create chances for their strikers. It's quite hard for him to score a lot of goals. They don't really have any creativity in midfield, and having watched him for 3 years, was it? That he doesn't really create chances for himself. So yeah, he was always never going to hit the ground running. If Chelsea want to get their best out of him, they've got to take him from left wing, put him up front, and they've got to feed him. If they don't, he ain't scoring at all. He scored 3 and 4, I'm pretty sure, but he won't score as many as they want him to score because he can't create for himself. He's just going to literally be there to get on the end of things. And then you've got Havertz, and then you've got Sterling, who are all doing the same thing. There's no creativity up front. Today, they all stank. I couldn't believe what I was watching, and the fact that Potter didn't change it for 62 minutes, that's why the game, in my opinion, was on Potter.
Bro, halftime, literally at halftime, it was so freaking obvious. Like literally, just change that midfield up, man. Because I'm like, it ain't happening like this. Nothing was gonna happen, and then he took that long to make those changes, and he's changed. What surprised people was like he put on Pulisic and took off Mount. And it was like, bro, Sterling is having a stinker out here too. Aubameyang is having a stinker out here too. Like, what's going on? Like, why are you waiting? What's going on?
Yeah, but what was? There were some moments I just didn't understand what was going on. What was Cucurella doing, just hugging Xhaka like that?
You explain that one to me because I saw it afterwards. I didn't even know that happened. Like I saw that.
Bro, let me show you. Let me show you what happened. So the ball bounced right in front of him, in between him and Mendy, to go to Gabriel, and neither of them actually got the ball. So the ball literally landed right there where my cursor is, in between both of them, and just went to Gabriel for a goal. It was mad.
Yeah, no, I mean there was like a series of errors on this run, right?
Yeah.
Because even as a
Mhm.
keeper, you would expect the keeper to do as much as he could to not even let that ball bounce. Like he didn't even try to own that space. He let it get past him, and then no one wanted it except for Gabriel. And this is what I was asking earlier with regards to this result, right? Like I know Arsenal won, but in the manner that you did, didn't speak well to the the London matchup, the whole hype with regards to how Arsenal have been playing. For that to have been the winning goal, it's kind of flattering to Chelsea when you really think about it. And then Chelsea's inability to really put on any threats or make that difficult, it's like, what do we really get from this game other than Arsenal getting another 3 points, staying top of the league, winning when you need to win? But what we saw from the teams, I was really disappointed. I was really disappointed
No.
in terms of like
Mm.
what that match was supposed to be.
When
Mate,
Sterling,
I have
did
to
Sterling play?
disagree. I think Arsenal did put in a good performance. I just think I agree with you. The goals didn't really validate the performance. They should have won by
One goal.
probably 2-3, 3-0, 3-0. But I think they did perform well. They were on Chelsea from minute one to full time. So
But
I
that's
do
a
kind of
worry
see
though.
where you're coming from. Say it again.
But that's the worry, right? Because if Arsenal's going to put in these type of performances, but goals are going to be at a premium, they're not going to be able to get the goals that they need,
But I'll be
especially against. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, brother. And just not to like and dismiss your point entirely. I think you've got a point in a way, but you've got to look at it from the perspective of an Arsenal fan as well. Like Arsenal in the past would have not won this game. Like
Yeah,
they would have
yeah.
like control. They'd done whatever goodness and whatever like that, and somehow they were either dropped points or lost the game by some sort of unfortunate circumstances. The thing is, right now, what's the most important thing is, can you get points on the board, especially when you're facing a team like Man City at the top of the table? You
I hear
also
that.
have to look at it from the perspective of it's an away game, and it's a 3 points that are technically like considered a bigger deal than a normal 3 points because it's away from your ground. It's supposed to be really difficult. Arsenal were in cruise control today and still managed to win this game as comfortably as they did. That in itself, I think, is what people should take away from it. Yeah, the scoreline isn't as as great as people may have expected it to be, but I think the fact that they were in cruise control and still managed to dominate Chelsea and nullify pretty much the whole team like the way they did, I think that in itself is something you got to compliment them on, because the former Arsenal maybe wouldn't have even managed the game really well enough, and we would have had a late equalizer, and then bam, that's 2 points job that could have easily been 3 points for them, and deservedly they should have been picking up 3 points. So I think you just got to give them credit for what it is. I get what you're trying to say, however, at the same time,
Yeah.
because I do think you can't sometimes rely on these types of performances. But this is one of those circumstances where I think Arsenal actually can give themselves a compliment, and it's a well-earned 3 points, and it's a performance that I think warranted 3 points for them today.
I was just gonna say, shout out to everyone in the comment section. Diego Jota, shout out to you for this wonderful comment. Big up Iga and this prestigious panel.
Yeah.
And also, there's a comment in the comment section and a poll. Do me a favor, guys. If you guys can vote in the poll, let me know which game you want to talk about next: Man United versus Aston Villa or Liverpool Spurs. Let's vote in the poll. We only have like 15 votes right now. There's over 100 of you guys, so make sure you do that. I'm just gonna say this, Vader. This comment right here is 100% right. Did you watch the game 100%? Because there was clearly like 3-4 chances where we could have scored. Odegaard, if he had a right foot, we would have had a goal. Jesus, if he was a little bit taller,
I did watch the match.
Situation where Saliba made a fantastic run, but no one was at the end of the chance to actually score from that pass.
And this is the thing, and I love the conversation, and this is where it's about comprehension, because the first thing I said was how you guys played, getting the win 100%. That's the most important thing. But I said it's a worry if you're going to have performances like these and you're not scoring, right? The manner in which you got that goal, you got it, you got the win. But when you put in those dominant performances, that comment was pointing out all those chances. It is concerning when you're not scoring those opportunities. That's all I want to point out.
That. Yeah, that's a fair point.
I hear that. We definitely need to be more clinical, but we were clinical our last game where we scored 5 goals. This is an away game, even though it's at Stamford Bridge and it's been a good hunting ground for us. It is a top 6 away game, and unlike certain teams, we win games against the top 6. So let's talk about it. What?
Who's that? Who you refer?
Who do you think I'm talking about?
It can't be us.
He's taking a dig at Spurs. It's good to have
Alan,
Chelsea.
Alan,
it was at
Arsenal
Spurs.
didn't have that.
He can't help it. He can't help it,
Yo,
man.
Listen,
Shots.
listen. All I have to say is a certain somebody said to me, I don't know if he's on the stream, but said to me, "You haven't played anybody yet." And then when I lost to Man United, he's like, "You haven't beaten any big teams yet." So I'm just saying the same energy, bro. You haven't beaten any big teams yet. You keep saying we haven't played anybody yet. It's now
For me.
week 13. It's now week 13. We're still at the top of the table, and it's like no matter what you do,
Okay.
you cannot finish
Did I
above
say
us
that to
until the
Did I
World
say
Cup.
that
So
to you, mate? You haven't played a
halfway
big
through the season, Alan, we are everything Tottenham Hotspur strive to be this season, coming into the season. That is reality.
No. I'm not just striving what you want to be 3 years down the line. You're finally deciding to click. I'm not like that. So I'm not one of these, I'll get there in 3 years people. I want results now. You can hold on to 3 years and then get a result. Was it me who said about you haven't played anyone big yet?
Yes.
It was me. When did I say that?
After we lost to Man United, you said you still haven't beaten any big teams.
Okay. I said you hadn't beaten anyone big because you hadn't. Like
Then what
Spurs hadn't beaten
happened?
anyone big. You
What
hadn't.
happened then?
Okay. And Spurs still haven't.
We
And I
beat
didn't
you,
say
we beat
hold on,
Liverpool,
okay.
and now we
Okay.
beat Chelsea.
Okay. So I said, wait until you get to the big games and then we'll see how you're doing. And you have won them. So you're doing better than what people expected. I never done you a disservice. I said, wait till you get to the big games and beat the big teams. And you've done that now. So I gave you the credit. Did I not?
No, what you tried to do originally was you tried to say Chelsea were shit and Arsenal just did their job.
No. I gave Arsenal credit. Did I not come on the stream and give Arsenal credit?
I felt like you're dissing Chelsea more than you're complimenting.
No, I
Arsenal.
dissed Chelsea because they got things wrong. And then I praised Arsenal because you got things right. I've done both.
Okay, fair enough, Alan.
You hear what you want to hear, but I've done both.
Okay, fair enough. We'll leave it there. But people in the chat, let me know what you guys think. Right now, it is 54% are saying Man United. Guys in the panel, who would you rather talk about, Man United or Spurs and Liverpool right now?
You know what I want to speak about, but yeah.
Yeah, you want to
I don't
speak
mind
about
speaking about it.
Spurs. What, Alan? What about you? What would you rather speak about?
Let's do
I'm
us.
about to
I
shut
don't
down the poll.
Let's do us first. I don't mind taking the L first.
Yeah, 54% have voted Man United go
Save the
first.
best till last.
So
Yeah, save
Man
the best-
United.
Yeah.
Sorry, Igal. What was the energy? What was the energy going into this United match from the United fan? My bad.
Oh, it was. Don't disrespect Unai Emery. He's a good manager, but we should still win.
Yeah, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. What's wrong with that statement?
Nah, go ahead. What you saying?
Okay. But overall, I can't lie to you. It was a shocking game of football. Some of these players are absolutely shocking. Van der Beek is like a statue. When he's offering nothing in these games, and it's just like you're playing with two men in midfield. You've got Lindelof, not Lindelof. Lindelof, he's a fucking pussy. He was at fault for pretty much all of our fucking goals. I can't believe we still play this guy. He's a shocking player in defence. Martinez didn't really have his best game, but I don't think he was that bad. But the person that I would like to talk about is the guy who became a part-time wrestler, WWE footballer today. He had the armband on. He's geriatric 7. These lot have been screaming all season. What if Ronaldo got Rashford's chances? What if? Every time this guy gets a chance, he misses it or he skies it or he hits it straight to the keeper. When are we going to all come out and agree that he's no longer at the standard of teams who want to challenge and do big things in football? And until some Man United fans realise this, we are not going to go anywhere because I'm sick and tired of it. He doesn't link up play, he doesn't run the channels, he doesn't header the ball, he doesn't move, he can't pass, he can't shoot, he can't do fuck all. But apparently, because he scored the Champions League winning goal in 2016 or 17, whenever it was, you can't criticise him. It's a load of bollocks. But yeah, overall, it was a shocking game of football. We need to beat Fulham. I think it's away next week or at home, and just get the hell out of here. Start again when the World Cup's done because it's just a mess.
Let me ask everyone who here actually watched the United game, because I was so busy. I just seen the highlights, and for you guys to be down 11 minutes into the game 2-0, I'm just looking at that and I'm saying, yo, the first time you break up Varane and what's it called, Anthony, and this is what Varane and what's his name, Martinez, this is what happens. It's like the moment you change that center back pairing, this is the first thing that happens. A little bit of disruption, and you're playing a team that, you know what, they do have a new manager bounce. They have a situation where their goals that they scored, they could have.
No, The build up play to those goals were nice. Like the first 2 goals, it was nice. And again,
really do nothing though.
Say again?
You can't really say it's a defensive mistake or anything. It was just really good play from Aston Villa.
Yeah, I think Aston Villa, what Unai, again, I'll be the first to admit I wasn't watching their games. So whether he changed up their system from last week to this week, I couldn't tell you. But the pattern of play that I saw, the team was organized. The team knew how they were going to move that ball around, and the chances they created to get those 2 goals, they were quality. They were quality opportunities, and again, it's not a great result knowing the momentum that United had. Right?
Let me just read this comment right here. Ronaldo makes us worse, Eagle, active Gunner. Also, better see Rashford, Martial, Anthony next week away from versus Fulham. Basically, everyone's just digging out Ronaldo. So, guys, the question is, what do they do with Ronaldo? Do they let his contract run out? What do they do with him?
Do you know what it is? Yeah. I personally don't want to give him more money. He doesn't deserve any more of our peas. We should. So I think what we should just do is open the market up and just say whoever wants him, just give us. Even if you give us.
That's the thing, though. No one wants him.
That's what happened to us with Aubameyang.
Yeah.
No one wanted him. Somehow Barcelona flipped him.
I can't lie. I forgot your name again. Sorry, Sammy. I feel like, I don't think your owners will do this, I don't think your club will do this, but I think you should just pay him out of a contract because I don't want to disrespect him because he's one of the greatest players to ever grace our game, but I just think you should cut ties now. Honestly,
Todd Bowley wants him.
Because, say it again.
Todd Bowley wants him. He wanted it in the summer.
I'm just going to put a pause on that.
No, is that serious though? Is Todd Bowley still want him? Like, is that serious? Or?
Yeah, he does. He does.
I don't know.
If we sign Ronaldo in January, guys.
I mean, if that's the case, then you won't have to pay him out of a contract.
Oof,
but
fucking hell, mate.
He's just stifling you in every.
Chelsea and Roma seem like the only options, really, right? Not Chelsea and Napoli seem like the only options potentially, but Napoli are doing so well. Why would he go to Napoli?
Why?
Because Napoli wanted him, right?
Yeah, no, they did.
I don't think they still want him.
They probably don't.
They did, but there's again, if you buy Ronaldo and he derails because he's going to want to play, him and Osimhen cannot play together, so you have to then drop Osimhen. Are you really going to drop one of the most informed strikers in the world for Ronaldo? And then when you don't win the league, everyone will start making excuses. It's just you might as well just leave it.
You know what the headline I seen that made me realize Ronaldo's finished? I seen this picture and the article said clueless. When you see stuff like that from journalists, it's like you're done. Like when they're disrespecting you like that, it's mad.
Because
like,
it's terrible.
You don't see them disrespecting Messi like that.
Because, bro, the thing is,
they were trying to last year. Let's be honest. Yeah. Last year they tried very hard, man. They tried to rub him off completely.
Hey, I think he could still go to a lesser league and do really well, but the Premier League is
where?
The Premier League is a different beast.
But like where though? He doesn't want to go to.
He doesn't go to a retirement home, MLS. You saw Bale score. I don't know if you saw that. Bale scored a last-minute equaliser, I think, early hours of this morning. So I reckon MLS best suits him. There's talk of him going back to Sporting, but Sporting Lisbon are doing well. Like, I know they obviously want the love ending story to be good and whatnot, but even there, I don't think he can go to
he wants to stay in Europe because he wants to still play maybe one more time.
I hear that, Agal, but I just don't think, this sounds mad to say, I just don't think he's good enough for the top 7 leagues now. He's just not. Like, everything comes to an end. All good things come to an end, and I feel like he'll have to go to an MLS or maybe a Qatar or where they can pay him out big money, but he's just not good anymore. He's just not.
You know what? There's another way I want to look at this. Is Ronaldo distracting everyone from the poor performance from Manchester United, or is he the catalyst for this performance? Alan, I'm going to go to you.
It's a scapegoat. Whenever teams have big performances, it's always like one or two that get put in that. But for that position, you've got to point to more than one or two. I didn't see all of the game because I had stuff that I was doing, but yeah, I saw all the goals, and it's like a new manager bounce for Villa. I mean, they've got good players that were completely mismanaged by Gerrard. So I think Villa will be safe. But yeah, just all it is it's the easiest scapegoat for them. Like before that, it was Maguire. Sometimes I even heard some Man United fans, I won't say who, that Maguire hardly played, and they were like, "Oh, it was all Maguire today." Like, no, it's just when you have an agenda narrative, it goes that way. That's for me. That's what some people do. But yeah, saying Ronaldo can't do the top 7 leagues, he could easily do it in the French league. He could do it in the Portuguese league. Wait, was that top 7 now? I don't know. He could do it in the Dutch league. I just don't think the pace of the Premier League's for him anymore. I think Germany is a bit too much. Maybe even Serie A is a bit too much. But the others, I think he could do a job in. So, yeah, it's he done the right thing coming back and challenging himself in the Premier League. And he done well considering last season with, I think it was 19 goals. Was it 18, 17, something like that? But
18.
now, yeah, 18, something like that. It's not a bad return for a really bad Man United team. But I think it's just one season too many now.
38. What the hell?
Yeah, exactly. One season too many in the Premier League. He needs to slow a league to be able to stay at this level.
Bro, how old was Ibrahimovic when he was at United?
Ibrahimovic, he was 37 or something like that. He was astronomically clear for Man United and PCR 37 was. That is a fact. Scored in the final, was helped nurturing the kids. He wasn't complaining when he was on the bench. He was just there. He knew he was old and he just did his thing in peace. Ronaldo is trying to fight things, trying to tension kids, demanding armbands and throwing it. So we don't need this. Like people keep saying, "Oh, Ronaldo's this, Ronaldo's that." We don't need this. We're not that good. We're not a great team. So why should we now carry a 37-year-old who's not that good anyway? It is like the Aubameyang Arsenal situation. Ten Hag just needs to look at it and go, let's just get him out of here. We don't need him. Let's rebuild somewhere else. And then bring in a younger striker who will listen, who will not sit there and be like, oh yeah, I've won 5 Champions Leagues, so you must listen to me. How can that be a thing?
What? Yo, Haaland already equaled his goal tally.
Yep.
Since he came back.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Haaland did that to most people though.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I think Haaland's actually outscored United in terms of all of their goals this season. But let's look at Ten Hag. Has Ten Hag, because I've heard that he's the manager not to take any BS. He does what he needs. He'll drop players if needed. What made him have Ronaldo in the squad? Like, what do you think?
He has no choice.
He has no choice. He can't. Rashford isn't a striker, and Martial is injured. He's back from injury today. To be fair, he was on the bench. He did come on. We've just got no options. Like, you have to play him. The rest of the players, Elanga, he's shit. Garnacho isn't ready. Even though he played as well, but he's played on the wing. We just have no. If we had 2 strikers, even 2 decent Prem strikers, Ronaldo wouldn't play. But we have to play him. So.
You know what? I think we're going to end this here. But before we move on, Unai Emery, just give him a quick shout out. My guy came in, Aston Villa. Steven Gerrard shouldn't have been sacked. Some people were saying, Liverpool fans. I'm sorry. Rom, your fan base can't defend this guy when he's managing another team. Just allow that.
Some of the stuff my fan base says is crazy. But no, that was the right appointment, man. That was the right appointment.
Yeah, Unai Emery in the Premier League. We're going to hear a lot of good evenings, but right now he doesn't say good evening anymore. He doesn't say good evening anymore. He says, what does he say? Good afternoon.
Has Arsenal played Villa yet? Have you guys played them already?
We played them at home. We have to play them away, so it's going to be interesting.
Can I just say, right? And I saw someone tweeting. It's so true. The pool. We already know how exciting and big this league is, but the pool of this league is getting even greater. Within the last week, you've got two managers come to the league in Unai Emery and I think Julian. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Lopetegui. I don't know.
The former Spanish manager. Yeah.
Let's be honest. They are two Champions League managers managing, let's say, mid-table teams. You could say, and it just shows how like big our league is and an advert it is to the rest of Europe, let alone the world. It's amazing to see, man.
You know what? Diego Jota makes a crazy point here. Imagine Ronaldo wins the World Cup. His career is over. He doesn't need to play again. He's done everything.
But they'll have a better chance if he doesn't play in that Portugal team. I'm not going to lie.
Who's going to play up front for them? They have no goal scorers. Besides, like, is Jota going to be fit?
I swear they got that Silva.
I think Leao could do a job as a 9. I think he can. I know a lot of people doubt it, but I think he can do a job for Portugal as a 9.
I hear that, like an Henry type.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not there yet. But yo, we're gonna move on to the big game now. Tottenham getting outclassed by Liverpool. We're gonna talk about it. People in the chat, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Get ready. Put some popcorn in the chat for Alan
Been
if you
waiting
want.
for this.
Right? We're gonna get onto this, but before we do that, I just want to let you guys know we currently have 101 of you guys in the chat. I don't even know how many likes we're on. How many likes we're on, guys? Come on, let me know. How many likes we're on? We're on 60 likes. You can do much better than that, guys. We only need like 30 more likes to even it up, right? And also, we do have a membership program if you guys want to become a member. In today's economy, everything's expensive, but the membership program is quite cheap. You can check it out yourself. It's only £1 to become a member. The second level of the membership is $2.99. So you guys choose whichever level you want to join. And there is a Discord for the people who want to join at the $2.99 level. But yeah, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's continue on to the next topic. Guys, who do I start with? Do I start with Alan? Do I start with Rom? Let me know in the chat.
I'm actually happy me and Alan could go back and forth because Alan's a great guy, but also we briefly touched on the game in terms. We couldn't really delve in, so now we can actually delve in because I agreed with a lot of what you said, bar one thing. But I want Alan to go first.
Okay, the Vertonghen is ready. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, I'd like to know what you disagree with.
Cool. When you said, I think you said that if the second half carried on longer, you deserve to win the game. It was something along them lines. I can't remember word for
On
word.
the football terrace, right?
No. That didn't come out of my mouth. I said that if we had started the game like we started the second half and played that way the entire game, we would have beat you. And that was me saying that I'm absolutely fed up with Spurs not showing up for the first half and only showing up for the second half. And that's me. That's me staying the same as I have for weeks. It's not good enough to start the second half. We saw in that second half when we came out and we actually played, which is what's annoying me with Conte not allowed coming out to play. You were all at sea. You had chances to hit us on the counter attack, but we were playing and we were causing you all sorts of problems. Your defense was all over the place. Trent, my God, although he's glad that he won because he got torn a new one today. He was all over the place. It was lucky that Virgil van Dijk and Konate was in that centre. In the
I wouldn't even say that. That for me again was poor. Ibi was imperative today. He was immense today. Honestly, because he was covering Trent left, right, and centre.
It not changed my mind that Spurs were of their own downfall. They created their own downfall today with how they were in the first half. And I'm sick and tired of being set up to be so defensive in the first half and coming back in the second half. When you take half the game away, like I said, do Spurs fans get a chance to pay half tickets or half like paying for their food and drinking? No, we pay a full price. So we want a full performance from from our team. And it's not happening.
Wow. So, Alan.
Active Gunner just put a comment in. I hold Conte to account. I've held Conte to account for the last 4 bad performances in the first half.
He has to be fair.
You can't try that one with me.
Alan, the thing is...
Alan literally just did that. So, Alan, you're on his neck, eh? It's crazy. Someone just put a comment.
Wait, hold on. Everyone in here, if your manager sets your team out to be pretty much shit first half and then come out in the second half, you're all going to not complain? Of course you are. You're going to complain.
Can I just add to
just before you go, Rom, I'm just going to ask this comment right here. They asked about the penalty. What do you guys think? So we can just move on quickly.
Of the penalty, that was a Stonewall.
Yeah,
Stonewall penalty.
Because you gave Cancelo's one and a red card.
No.
For me,
Cancelo's one, his body weight is leaning into Wilson. Trent is just the arm. It's literally just the arm. His body weight's not into the challenge.
So, here's me basically being honest. When I saw it live, I called it straight away as a penalty. Seeing it back numerous times, Trent's always behind, no attempt to get the ball. All he does is put an arm in the back. And I've said, and this is, you can go and check what I put on Twitter. I said yesterday, for me, the Man City one should never have been a penalty, but minimal contact enabled it minimal. And I kept the same thing, enabled it to be a penalty for Man City. That's more than minimal contact, no attempt to play the ball, just pushes the man to the ground. That's a pen. It's as simple as that.
Okay, can I just
the other way, Ron?
Just to be devil's advocate. Just to be devil's advocate. Do you guys remember? Do you guys remember this moment last year?
Guys, he's the main character.
Remember last year what happened? The exact same situation happened last year, but the opposite teams, and it wasn't given.
Oh, okay. I thought you was going to say Arsenal.
Yeah,
Yeah, see, I again, I don't think that's a pen. Even in the game against you lot, Gal, all the Liverpool fans screaming Gabriel handball and the Jesus penalty too soft. Again, I'm someone that I'll try and put myself in other teams' boots. Honestly, Alan, if that had happened, if someone had done that to one of my players, I still wouldn't be. Because the difference with the City game, right? I think Wilson was in a goal scoring opportunity, and he's also the last man. Sessegnon's kind of running, I'm not going to say away from goal, but he's not aligned with the goal. So for me, that also has a contributing factor to the situation.
I'm sorry. I've been very quiet.
Yeah,
I don't think that's a pen.
By the way, I put
quiet.
a poll in the thing. What are you saying?
If yesterday did not happen in the manner that it did, if I didn't see Cancelo put a shoulder into the next player and that be called last man, didn't make a play for the ball, it's a pen and a red, get off the pitch, I would not be saying this today. I'm looking at the situation. Trent is putting his forearm on the man's back, not playing the ball. He's also the last, he's clear on goal as well. He's the last player to the keeper. It's only him and the keeper between him. There's no defensive player between them.
He's not. But it's not like a one-on-one. If you look at his body language,
he can still get a shot off or a cross off, is what's being said. He can still get a shot or a cross off.
Yeah, but it does. It's not about what he's capable of doing. It's whether he got fouled in the manner in which he did. And one man was shown a penalty and a red card, get off the pitch. In this game, none of that. And VAR went. I don't know what VAR was doing. It's so inconsistent. I just want consistency. If you're going to say,
that's right.
If you're going to say red, then it's a red for both. That's all I'm looking for.
I think
Gal brought out the picture from last season. I think you'll find when I saw that, I went on the terrace last season, I said Liverpool were robbed of a penalty. They should have had a penalty. So I'm consistent across the board. It should have been a penalty last season. Should have been a penalty this season. People saying he went down too easy. There is no way on this earth anyone can sit in the comment section and say players do not go down too easy for a penalty anymore across the board for all teams. That's the
norm. That's the norm nowadays.
Yeah, that's the state of the game now.
For the Man City penalty yesterday, I'm sorry, that was not a Man City penalty. It shouldn't have been given. It was minimal contact. The little clip, and he went down. I'm not.
Wait. You're talking about the KDB or you're talking about the Cancelo? Which one?
No, the KDB one. The KDB one. At the end,
where but that's I hear you. I said it was soft, but that's the state of football.
But anybody gets a touch, goes down now, they're going to do that. It's one of them things that players make a meal of it.
Quickly, onto the game now. I just want to have my quick take on this game. You know, you said, Alan, if you started the game how you finished it, you would have. I think at best, if that was the case, I still think it would have been a draw. And let me tell you why. You have to add context to this, because once we went 2-0 up, let's have it right. We did allow you to have more of the ball. We sat back. We did kind of rest on our laurels a bit. And one thing I want to say is Kulusevski, I jinxed it because when I was watching it in the Terrence studio, I said, you can't all of a sudden be ruled out until after the World Cup. Then the minute there's an injury to Son, all of a sudden he's ready. I said, even if he comes on, I rate Kulusevski, by the way, but even if he comes on, he's not really going to impact this game for me. The minute he comes on, what does he do? He contributes to the game. He was immense. And one thing I also want to say, I want to back both of our players, Alan, here. Salah more recently, but Kane from start to finish is having an amazing season. But the reason why it's not getting spoken about is because of the freak of nature that Haaland is. And Salah from the last few weeks as well. Salah's been immense. But I do believe, if you used to say to me, Alan, if you started the game how you finished it, a draw was fair, I could hear that. But to say you would win the game, that's right.
He has got an assist, by the way. He has got an assist, by the way.
Yeah. The reason why I say that is because the thing is, we saw in that second half, we put your backline under pressure. And even although I praised Konate and Van Dijk, because I thought, well, actually, Van Dijk, not so much, but Konate had a decent game. Yeah. Your backline is the most suspect it's been since you had all them injuries, and you had where you lost 5 or 6 games back, but you had so many injuries. This time, now you don't have as many injuries, but your backline is so suspect. Your midfielders were a lot weaker. And I think and this is what's annoying me, and I've said it on numerous things, we should have already qualified on streams on my channel. We should have qualified way before the Marseille game, but we decided to shut up shop and hold out Sporting and then play in the second half. We done it against Marseille and just scrape through there. I noticed how Egal deleted that tweet, by the way, just reminding you, Egal, that you deleted that tweet about Marseille. The one about Marseille when you were saying about Spurs going out and it's not there anymore. I couldn't find it.
Oh, yeah. That was a dumb video. Listen, I don't think videos are meant to be on Twitter because
that'll
they
Anyway, let me come back. But the same
I've had to
thing
delete many videos on Twitter. Not just that.
We had to go 2-0 down to Bournemouth before we showed up last night. And it's one of them things. Don't get me wrong, Conte can win things. Conte is getting the best out of players that other like Nuno and even Mourinho couldn't do. But not showing up for a first half, you already stop yourself from you give yourself so much to do. And like I said, if you've got a team that can have got standout players like that, like even Newcastle now, like Man United do have and all that, you're going to end up losing. And we've done that, obviously Arsenal as well, and we've ended up losing. For me, it's something Conte's got to get out of system and just, like I say, loosen the reins. Let players, because you've seen, obviously Kane having a great season, 11 goals more than he's ever got at this point in the season, but it's because of Haaland, we're not speaking of it. Okay, Son's been awful. You've got Kulusevski, who's a great player. You saw it today, come back on, we've missed him so much. Allow these players to go and express themselves. Bentancur is an absolute beast in midfield, but
I was just about to say that he was excellent today.
He's been like that for the past, and literally consistently
He's been carrying
6-8 games. He's been so consistent, but he's not getting spoken about because we're doing so much defensive work because we're just so negative. And I think Conte looks at the back line and goes, okay, I still need my players to come in to be able to play the way I want, and we can play a bit further up the pitch. But you see that even when we play further up the pitch, or even if we play this ultra defensive, you've got twats like Eric Dyer trying to pass an invisible man on the pitch, and Salah go, thank you very much, I'll have that, job done.
Because you know what, Alan, it's not even like we played amazing. We didn't. And I predicted this 2-1, and I also said we'll win this game by individual brilliance, which we did. I saw this game panning out like this, but I didn't think he would gift us goals like that. Not especially Eric Dyer. I've always said he's the type of centre-back that looks better when he has a Romero next to him. But when there's no Romero and he actually has to defend as an individual, I feel sorry for England. Honestly, I feel sorry. If that's who England are going to take on that plane, I feel sorry for England.
No,
but
Ben White better be on that plane. But before we go any further, I'm just going to say this. I agree with you, Alan. Very unsustainable. I thought, what do you call it? Basuma and these guys, the way that you guys were playing them, Kulusevski's been missing because he came on and he became a big factor. It showed that extra bit of creativity, especially the chances that he created in the final third. You've missed him so much. And for a team, no salt thrown at this moment in time. For a team going into it, when you signed Perisic and all these guys, all these pieces, you guys were thinking that they're going to play a big part. Some of these guys haven't played as big as a part that I was thinking. Like Perisic was good against Marseille, but today not. I don't know. What do you think? And he was also being played out of position at times. Like was he up front? Am I tripping?
So he was like number 10 role, and then obviously he's pushed out to the left and that. But I'm sorry, he had Trent. He had Trent all at sea half the time in that game. He actually played really well. Basuma had his best game. I'm still saying, like, I can't believe. I said it on watch along. There was a point where Royal picked the ball up. He was 35 yards out. There was nobody in the box, and without even looking, he's crossed it out for a goal kick, like 35 yards away.
He's
out for a goal kick.
He's terrible.
I want him gone. Doherty isn't that good. Just give Spence a go. There's so much more potential with this team. Now, don't get me wrong. There was an odd Spurs fan that said we're going to win the league. No, I said Spurs.
What?
Yeah, Deji. Yeah, said.
Oh, because I have the footage. Yeah.
Just to stop you there, Mo will back me as well because obviously he had Conte at Chelsea. The problem with Conte is, as much as he's won a lot and he does have pedigree when it comes to domestic titles and whatnot, he has about 15 players that he trusts, and if you're outside of them 15 players, you're not really going to get a game. You're not going to get a sniff. That's why the Brian Hills, the Jed Spences, the Oliver Skips, whatnot, these are players that actually rate, but they're not going to get a look in. No matter how bad Spurs are doing, if the players that are bad that he still trusts are fit, they're going to play, and it could be to your detriment. I still think you'll get top 4. I'm not going to lie. I do still think you'll get top 4. But it will be to your detriment.
Yeah, I've said, and I'll keep saying things Spurs getting fourth. I said where we got fourth last season with the people added to the squad. Now, it wasn't a 10 out of 10 window. I'd said about a 7 out of 10. Could have done better, but you don't always get who you want, like your top signings that you want to go for, like the Bastoni or the better centre-back that we were looking for. But I said with that squad and all that, you know, with Conte and all that, you can get third with this team, with this squad. And for me, like, you can win a trophy, but I'll still keep that. I'm not going to say it's done and dusted, or we can't get like third or fourth, top four. It's still well in our grasp. But the more we play like this and lose out, like if we're behind at halftime, we're not always going to be able to bring it back. You can get goals back, and this team's shown that they can score. Since in the calendar year of 22, we're the second highest scoring team behind Man City alone. So although we're so defensive, we scored a goal. That's why I'm saying to Conte, loosen the reins, let these players play, and you will be surprised. Look what we're doing at the end of last season. I know, obviously, we were putting teams to bed with 55, 60 minutes gone, and then you can rest players. Now, how Spencer flop? He hasn't had a chance. It's Conte not
because he hasn't played yet.
Flop. Just learn football, seriously, Mustafa. I love you, my guy, but learn football, seriously.
Okay, I was just gonna say I found the actual
racist to actually boost my chest. So I'm gonna say,
no, man, big out.
Clip up all the rest of it, because I said it and I'm saying it live. Say it on our channel, say it on this channel, say it on any channel, Twitter. Look it up. We are going to win the league or the Champions League this season. Yeah, hold on.
Jesus!
You know you're drunk, right?
Wow!
I just came out of nowhere and said, "You know you're drunk."
I thought it was just Deji, so there's actually two. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's where I seen it. I never seen Deji say he's gonna win the league. That was
Deji said it multiple times ago. He says it pretty much once a month. Honestly,
mental. Listen,
Alan, what are you claiming for the season?
Can anyone disagree with me here? Do Tottenham play a style of football that can sustain throughout a league campaign to win? Because I don't think the way they play is sustainable throughout a league campaign. Because in order to win a league campaign, you either have to be extremely good defensively and have enough goals in you to win the league, or you have to be really good attacking wise and defensively be middle of the pack, but still have the goals over and above everybody else to win these games. I don't know. What do you guys think? Because I don't think Tottenham are good at either. I don't think their goals are there this year. I don't think the defense is there this year.
I don't think that type of football is sustainable over a long period of time in a league title race or in the league, basically. I think in the football and the way it is, you need to be expansive. You need to go out and win games, and sitting back and I don't know what you do. I'm not saying you sit back, but you know what I mean? Not going forward all the time is only good for cups. So I don't know if Conte's going to have to change it. But although what I will say is I do like Spurs' midfield. I think Bentancur is a top player. I think once Basuma clicks, he'll be a very good player. If you can get maybe a Maddison in the middle of those three, I think Maddison, Kulizeski, I'm not sure how that will work because maybe you have to drop someone else. Maddison, Kulizeski, and Kane will be a very good free attacking wise, but we'll see.
Yeah. And did anyone else have anything to say before we go into the Man City game?
And go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, healthy, that style of play would be sustainable. Like if Tottenham had all of their bodies, because of how Son and Kane, like when they're clicking, they're dangerous. So if they were to try to absorb the attack, hit on the counter, those two are pretty proficient. So yeah, they could get a result. I think the challenge is now they're playing twice a week, and that's where it becomes long, because you can't defend two nights a week for 90 minutes straight and then trying to win on a counter. That's not sustainable.
Okay, so we're gonna just end off. The poll says it was no penalty. Should Spurs have had a penalty? 62% said no penalty, by the way. And just to move on to the final couple games. Did anyone watch the Man City game? Because I watched
that Spurs game. I thought Mo said he wanted to.
What?
Say that again, bro.
Didn't you say you wanted to say something about the game?
Oh, sorry. I thought you guys was moving on, innit? And bro, I'm not gonna say too much. I think for me, just in regards to Liverpool winning this game, it was very vital that Liverpool win this game, and how they did it didn't really matter. And you needed those 3 points. You got those 3 points. I think when it comes to Conte, and I've said this plenty of times before, I've had him as a manager, and he does rely on individual brilliance quite a lot. And he can tactically set up a team to be very difficult to score against. But the problem is he's got a Spurs team where there are players that individually can just have bozo moments like Eric Dyer just did. And he's cost his team, unfortunately. And Conte, I think for me, can be far too negative in moments when he knows exactly what it takes to actually play against like team like Liverpool. And it's very obvious that your strength is to get transitions, and instead of just sitting deep the whole time and trying to transition or trying to do whatever the hell that first half was, I think he should have been far more brave in the first half. It makes more sense to be brave in the first half than it does in the second half, chasing a game all of a sudden. And I don't know why he does that, but he's a very frustrating manager, man. I think for me, and over the long term, he's definitely not the right guy. I can't lie to you. If you have an objective for a season or two, he's probably your guy to complete those types of objectives. But if we're talking long term, this guy does more damage than good, in my opinion.
Well, very quickly before Gal moves on, if you look at, since obviously Conte's come in and all that, the type of players we've bought in, the team that obviously is going to be like built around in the future and for the future, they're all like 26, I think, or is the oldest, 25 downwards. So you've got like players and all that. So although you've got Conte there and wanting to win now, they are building for the future, which tells me I don't know if they're saying Conte they're going to back and give everything he wants, but Conte likes older players. But then we go by youngsters. So I don't know if it's built with a target in mind because they think he might go Juventus. So thinking obviously, and I don't want him, but I think a lot of Spurs fans are like on the back burner, Poch back. I don't want that, but I think that could be a way to go if he does go to Juventus. But I'd prefer Conte to stay and just allow people to play.
You know what? I'm just going to move on, but I'm just going to say this. I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool lose next week versus Ralph Hasenhuttl sacked. He's just been sacked. And I wouldn't be surprised if Southampton beat them.
This brings me on to my point. This is why I'm not trying to get too carried away with today, because if we lose or draw to Southampton, I just wouldn't be surprised, because after the City game, I genuinely thought we were back. You can say it's impulsive, you can say it's reactionary. For me, to beat the champions-elect, when, let's be honest, no one on this panel probably even gave us a chance, including myself. After I thought, cool, Klopp's actually showed he could maybe has a bit of tactical nous and he can change his system and formation to get a result. And then we have an unconvincing win against West Ham. And if we're being real, if Milner doesn't make a last-minute block, we draw that game. Then we get two back-to-back losses against Fulham and Forest, which are both respectively 19th and 20th. So once we win, for me to start having faith in my club again, I need to see at least 4 to 5 consecutive league wins. And that can't happen until after World Cup now. But I wouldn't be surprised. Whatever the result on Saturday against Southampton is, I wouldn't be surprised. If we win, we should win on paper, but football ain't played on paper. If we draw or lose, we've been inconsistent. It's been a story of our season. And we've seen how new manager bounce has this effect today. Damn, he knows. And even other teams, we know how it can go. But yeah, we just have to hope and pray against Southampton, man. Because you know why it's also key we get a result? Newcastle and Chelsea play each other, which are our top 4, you know what I mean? Our top 4 rivals. So we need to somewhat make some ground. And I think United have Fulham away. That's not an easy game.
Newcastle's beating Chelsea, you know? Newcastle's going to probably beat Chelsea. But But let's just move on to Man City. Guys, Manchester City won, they're down to 10 men. They won the game in the depth with a 95th minute penalty from Erling Haaland. Now, I'm not going to lie. Fulham got their penalty and they didn't play football after that because because once the game went down to 10 men, they chose not to play football. Cancelo has been dragged for defensive stuff. Realistically, it is very similar to the penalty situation in the Liverpool game. So I get where that comparisons come from. I'll probably get the side-by-side pictures to compare them to, because one was in the box, the other one was also in the box, but I don't know why they didn't give it. Anyways, we'll figure it out. But my main thing is City needed Haaland to come in and win that game for them. They weren't gonna get a goal because they got a goal disallowed also because he was offside. So it was he scored 2 goals. One was disallowed. One was a penalty. Minor offside also. I agree with you. But my main analysis of this game is, do you really believe City can win this league without Haaland if Haaland does get injured?
Bro, I don't think you understand you. You know, Alvarez, I think he's a top player, like especially one for the future. And I think the more run of games he does play, the more he get into the swing of things. The goal he scored, I thought that was a banger. And also, you have to remember as well, they're still missing. I'm not doing the whole injury stuff, but at the end of the day, when Kyle Walker gets back, when Cancelo moves back to left back, Calvin Phillips will be an extra body. I think they'll be more fulfilled. Hopefully, maybe Mahrez as well can pick up some form. But I just think that Man City, they've done it before without KDB. They've done it before without key players missing for large chunks of the season. So I just think they're just like a machine when it comes to this league title. I personally don't think their problems will be in the league. I think it'll be if Haaland is missing for the Champions League games, they've got a problem because I don't know how they're going to cope with that. But that's just me.
You know what? I'm gonna let Vader go on this because I know he's gonna have a lot to say, right? But just before we do that, we got some comments here saying I'm worried that we rely on Haaland too much. Another one here saying that Alvarez was not looking threatening and Fulham open up more. He wasn't looking threatening.
I'm gonna talk to Clinical. Let me talk to Clinical real quick. Clinical, don't worry. We're not relying on Haaland too much. We're not relying on him, but the man delivers. Don't stress it. You also have to keep in mind that goal from Alvarez. We could not get those type of shots on net from Jesus and Sterling when they were here. They didn't have that level of confidence in how they strike the ball for whatever reason. Trust in Alvarez as a striker fitting that role. Now, Haaland, he's dangerous. We know it. We look different with him. He causes so many different problems. The stature of the man, the speed, the strength. It's a different type of attack. Alvarez is different. Now, you can't judge him too harshly because we are playing 10 versus 11. And if you just turn the TV on and you're trying to guess who had the 11, who had the 10, you probably would have said City had 11 players and Fulham had 10 the way they were playing. We had one hand behind our back and we were still forcing play, dictating play. That's how nasty it was. So let's not kill Alvarez too much. I'll say this. The way we weren't able to create scoring opportunities, I think also played into fatigue. Like when you have 10 men covering the pitch versus 11, men get tired. It's not the same type of attack. Pep saw that. He said, you know what, let me get the bodies out. Yeah, I'm giving them a rest, or maybe the intention was always to give them some late minutes. But he was like, you know what, I want a result. So he brought on the hitters. And right early, you could see a different type of attack. Rightfully so, because Haaland creates his own problems. And I was watching that. I was ready to jump for joy. I was yelling at the top of my lungs when we scored that goal because I saw Haaland look back to see what the linesman said, and he had his flag down. I thought the goal was legit. They go to VAR. They call it, right? I think his pinky was offside because he extended his hand. I don't know, but it's stupid. Now, what I love about City, and I'm going to talk a little long, but I'm going to keep it short at the same time. The scars from last year, we've all been scarred up. I don't know whether it's happened through sports or whatever, but a scar covers up an injury, covers up some damage, and it protects you. We had that scar last season in Champions League. We also had the trauma and drama last season to close out the season, winning that in the last minutes. The players haven't forgotten that. The players actually, I don't want to say they rely on it, but they know that they can tap into it. And they played to the very last minute. The gal mentioned it. The 90-plus minute, these guys were still playing hard and went for that goal. I'll hold my hands up. This football today is pretty soft. The contact on KDB, he did fall easily. But that's what it is. And we would all cuss our player to stay up and try to battle through it in instances like those. So I'm going to take the penalty because I also believe that earlier the goal should have stand, but it didn't. And I'm also extra mad today after seeing the non-call for Trent. So I'm like, we deserve that win. I'm going to take it for what it is. This title race with Arsenal and City is going to rely on matches like these. And I'm happy with how they performed. They played to the very end.
Bro, I'm still not used to people calling it a title race. But yeah, that's
get over it, man. Get over it.
Scared, man. I get it.
You got commitment issues. Commit.
No, I'm married, bro. I don't got commitment issues. Anyways, Alan, what are you saying?
So for me, seeing it back, the Cancelo thing, I can kind of understand it, given like by the letter of the law what they're looking at. Do I think it's soft? Yep, I think the red card's soft, but by the letter of the law they probably got it right in that aspect. But yeah, it's one of them where you can go either way. But I hate saying that because that means that it's not clear and obvious, like this whole thing's meant to be. The offside was offside for Haaland, so that was correct. And then obviously who is it? Bernardo's an op. Literally, he's not wanting Arsenal to win that thing. The way he could have saved that penalty all day long. He let that in. He could have saved that. It was nowhere near him. It was underneath him. He was like, "Oh, it's Arsenal against in the title race. They got rid of me. I know what I'm going to do." And he let it in. So yeah, I think Man City got lucky. Obviously, Fulham could have taken points off, and they got lucky to go over the line. But that's what Man City do. That's what title winners do. Get over the line in any way, shape, or form. And I agree. Fulham really should have pressed home their advantage, but they never did. So they've only got themselves to blame, really.
Wow, you got a Manchester United fan saying he'd prefer Arsenal to win the league over City. What are you saying, Demi?
Do you know what? I actually asked this in my group chat the other day. I'm conflicted because I would have said City to win it. But then if they win it this year and they win it next year, then they equal our record of 3 back-to-back, and then they break it. So I don't even know, I can't even lie, I don't even know. Whoever wins it, wins it.
Wow. Any of you guys care if City win it or Arsenal? No? Good crickets. And no one wants Arsenal to win.
You know what? I obviously care. And if we were to take it away,
you're a City fan.
Actually, I've just processed the question. Yeah. You don't piss me off too much, mate, over the last couple of years. I want Arsenal to win it.
You would rather Arsenal win? Nah, because you're a secret gooner.
Ron, hold on.
It's
Ron,
true,
think of the fan base. Think of the fan base. Which
Bro,
fan
you were
base?
at the game today. You're cheering on Arsenal.
You know, but I worked there. It wasn't with Arsenal. I worked there.
I know.
You got to think of the fan base. Which fan base can you tolerate winning this title?
Okay, let's be honest, guys.
Yeah.
Does anybody have anything to say about the City game, or do you guys want to move on to Newcastle?
Nah.
Okay, we'll move on. Vader, soon Arsenal is going to be boring to talk about also, man, because you guys just keep winning. You guys just keep winning, man. I want to strive to that level where I sit around on a podcast and say, is there anything to talk about? And people say no, because we keep winning. Southampton, Newcastle. Newcastle won 4-0. Amran got another
4-1.
goal.
4-1.
4-1. 7 goals in 7 games for Almiron. And now I have to ask the question for real. Because a couple of weeks ago, I wasn't prepared to answer this question. I thought they're not ready yet. But can Newcastle actually get top 4? Because they're currently playing better than Chelsea. They're currently playing better than Man United, you say. They're currently playing better than Liverpool. They're currently playing better than traditional top 6. And it's like even some of the teams that are currently in the top 4, they're playing better than. Defensively, they're the best defense in the league. And also attacking-wise, they've been decent. Their goal difference is plus like 13 in comparison to everybody
17,
else.
Yeah.
So it's just like
they can easily challenge for top 4. It's like look what they're doing at the moment. If they can keep this up to January, it's not like they've still got Mike Ashley. They're going to spend, and they're going to spend big in January. So they're going to buy players to strengthen their squad. They're definitely in the shout for a top 4. Anyone who says they're not, I'm sorry, they're wrong.
They're definitely in the shout. Do I feel they will get it? Do I feel they will get it? No, because I think we all know the business end of the season. Will they be able to deal with the pressure once everyone starts speaking of them, of our real top 4 contenders? I do think they can get it. I agree with you, Alan, but I think when it's all said and done, one thing I will say, I think they finished 5th. I think everyone thinks it might be a United, Chelsea, or Liverpool or even a Spurs that gets that 5th place. I actually think Newcastle get 5th. I think they just miss out. I think they'll be the team to just miss out on 4th, but they can get 4th, 100%. If they strengthen their squad in January, which Alan said, which they will do, it is not Mike Ashley anymore. They're the richest club. They're richer than City, aren't they? The richest club in the world now. So they will add. They will add to their They will add to their squad. They actually can. When you actually deep the situation, they can. But I think next season they're nailed on. This season they just miss out on top 4.
Okay. Everyone here. So I just want a yes or no. Personally, I think they can get top 4, but I would put the stipulation similar to Alan. They need to strengthen in January. Everyone agrees? They need to strengthen?
I think their present form, they could get top 4. They play once a week. Like
True. Very true.
How they're currently set up, I mean, it'd make it a lot more convincing if they do get more strength. But they're playing once a week, and look at who they have to deal with. Who, they have those challenging matches. So Newcastle's going to be a problem.
Yeah, London will always be red. Big up my guy in the comments. Moving on.
With
Moving
no
on.
Champions League. Okay.
Bro, one trophy doesn't make the difference, bro. Let's be real.
I mean, 2 Champions Leagues, but hey, carry on, bro.
He's red with 8th.
Hey, I'm talking about the weight. You guys keep putting this. Okay, listen, you want to really do this right now?
Don't get
Hey,
triggered, guys. No,
I
it's
can't
okay.
lie. You know what's funny, right? It's so easy to trigger them as well, but it's literally I just said Champions League.
No, okay, whatever. There's a couple games left that we can talk about. Wolves, Brighton, Leeds, Bournemouth, Everton, Leicester, and West Ham, Crystal Palace. I feel like all of these games deserve some respect and some shout-outs. Personally, I watched the Leeds Bournemouth game. Leeds are on smoke. They came back. How the fuck did they come back? And Somerville scored the winner.
It's 2 big wins in a row, though, isn't it?
He
Like,
gave him confidence.
That gave him confidence. Now, I will tell you guys this: Wolves are terrible. Wolves are terrible. If Arsenal don't beat Wolves 5-0, I'll be disappointed. That's how bad they are.
can I just ask, how come you're that harsh on them?
Bro, I watched part of that game.
Is their new manager? Would he be in charge against Arsenal?
I don't know if he's going to be in charge against Arsenal, but I watched that game. Bro. Brighton could have had 7 goals, easy. It's just Brighton are not clinical, and it's like that's how they ended up getting 3 goals, winning by a 3-goal margin. And those goals that they scored, I think Wolves, one of them was a penalty, and another one. I forget exactly how they scored it, but it wasn't that impressive. And I was just watching the game, and I'm saying they're too open. The way that they play, it's going to be catered right to us, even away from home. If we come to their house, and they try to play that way,
you do realize they had a red card like in the 45th minute. Like there was a whole second half they played with 1 less player.
Nelson Semedo's an idiot. It was him, right?
He is, he is, and he's an absolute idiot for sure. But it's I don't know. Like I felt like
him and Emerson. Who's the worst?
Say again.
Emerson
Easily, bro. Emerson's a flipping literally, bro. He plays against his own team.
But yo, you have to understand, Wolves are also going into that game with no striker. Diego Costa got the red card recently, so they still have that situation going on.
Is he not back?
No.
It's a 3-game ban.
Yeah, it's a 3-game ban. So I really do believe these guys have no chance. And by the way, just so you guys know, they're at home. Do you guess how much possession they had? Because I watched parts of the game. I didn't watch the full 90, but they were absolutely getting parked in their half the whole game. Brighton had 72% possession in the full 90. They got 19 shots. 72% possession by Brighton. Hence why I'm saying you give Arsenal that type of ball. Guess how many shots Brighton took? 20 shots. Sorry, 19 shots. Right? And Brighton, who is the least clinical team in this league, I would say, got 8 on target, and they scored 3. If they give Arsenal that type of time, space, and ability on the ball without putting any pressure on us, we are going to beat them categorically easy, where it's going to be like 5-6-0. I genuinely.
God, what if all the chances dropped to Gabriel Jesus?
Bro, Gabriel Jesus. Gabriel Jesus.
I'm just playing.
Okay. Now, anyone else playing somebody on this list of teams? Leicester. We got to talk about Leicester. Leicester's back, bro. What the fuck?
Yeah, they are. They are. At first, when they, who's the team they got for? When they got that 4-0 win away at Molineux, I thought, I've seen this before, because they got a 4-0 win at home against Forest, and then they went back to losing again. But I think they're unbeaten in their last 4 now. I think I remember seeing. I think they're unbeaten in their last 4. They're getting some consistency, and yeah, I would give them that title again. I do think they're back. I honestly do think they're back. But you could argue maybe are some players just, playing for the World Cup, e.g. Maddison, maybe Barnes. Maybe after World Cup, do they go back to that level? There are questions you can ask, but they are back. They are back.
There you go. Big up, Demi. By the way, guys, we're just before we wrap up, we're gonna go members only. You guys can become a member for £1, so please do become a member. It definitely helps the channel out a lot. You could be spending £1 on a lot of different things, but of course, this definitely does help out the channel. I really do appreciate it. Now, Crystal Palace, Zaha scored again, boys. What are we saying? Zaha's a monster. He just keeps scoring.
You link?
Zaha-
Would you with him, Gal? Because I think you're heavily linked with him at the moment.
I would take him on a free. I think Alan, would you take him on a free at Tottenham?
No.
Why?
Not even on a free.
No, he goes in the same category as I have other people in, where I want people who's got end product and stuff like that. I don't just want people to look good on the eye. Simple as.
He's having I would agree with you. Throughout his career, he hasn't had an end product. But recent seasons, you can see a slight evolution in Zaha. He's getting a bit more wiser. His numbers are gradually getting better. I would say his end product's improved.
I wouldn't say that it's improved to that kind of standard. No.
Well, in context for a Palace team, it has. There's times Zaha was only hitting 3 and 4 in this season. Now he's getting.
Look, guys, I don't know why you're begging this guy, bro. Like, literally, I'll take Zaha, man. I don't know why he's just out here saying no, that he ain't got.
Yeah, on a free as well. You don't have to say anything.
Really.
Hold on. That whole thing of Zaha, look what he's doing for this team, doesn't flow at me, because people say, "Oh, Spurs, I haven't won anything," but then everyone slags Spurs off. Shit team, mediocre team, shouldn't even be in the top 6 and all that. So you contradict yourself. So when you do that with my team, I'm going to do it with other players for other teams. I don't care if it's meant to be just for Palace team. People say that about my Spurs team, so I'll do it about them and all that. And I still put the same category as he doesn't do. Yeah, for me, he's just I wouldn't take him. Wouldn't take him.
Wow. I would have thought you'd use his quality on that left-hand side.
You wouldn't take Maximin either.
So Maximin,
No,
But I can understand the maximum one, because you're not going to get 5 to 10 games in a row. That one I can understand. I rate him though, but he's just very injury prone.
Hold on.
Beggars can be choosers, yo.
Personally,
that?
I'm looking at these games and I'm saying to myself, Zaha, the way that he performed as of late, you got to give him credit. And if he's gonna get a move, he might go to Chelsea. I would take him at Arsenal, but I would only take him at Arsenal if he was willing to put in the work, like, because you're not going to be able to not put in the work off the ball at Arsenal.
Another thing at Gal as well, right? Zaha's at an age of, correct me if I'm wrong, he's 28 or 29. One, he's going to want that last big contract. Two, he's probably going to want guaranteed starts. And let's be honest, he's not starting at Arsenal. He's not starting at Spurs. When we have everyone fit, he's not starting at us. Chelsea, you could argue. He's not starting at City. So Chelsea within the only team probably within the top 6 that I think Zaha would start at. That's the problem with him, because he's going to want assurances. He's not gonna go to top 6 club unless he knows he's a regular star, and he's gonna want a big lucrative contract. And Todd Bowley would offer him that, but I can't see that our other 5 clubs do it.
Put the money on the table, sign him up, mate. Let's go, man. Can't get any worse for us right now, bro.
That's what I was gonna say. He would actually improve you, man.
Exactly, bro. Bro,
I'm just checking his stats, and he's scored more than I gave him credit for. So I'll hold my hands up and all that. But what he would be in the team to do, because he does it for Palace and all that, to assist and all that, he doesn't assist much. So no, I still wouldn't take him. But he scores more than I gave him
guys,
credit for.
we're gonna have to end it here. But anybody got anything to say before we go?
yeah, Chelsea will be back one day, guys, man. And I know obviously you lot are enjoying this moment, Arsenal fans. Enjoy it whilst you can, man. And I think it's our turn to suffer for a little bit.
Okay, Ram.
I echo that. Liverpool will be back one day, but yeah, just need to hope and pray. Let's just hope and pray we beat Southampton. So when we go into the World Cup, the gap to 4th is somewhat respectable. So
there you go, Vader.
I'm gonna say this. It's very different tuning into the show and seeing so many panel members speaking with a little less chest and less bass. I've tuned in a few times and I've checked out, and normally men's voices are mad bass and mad loud. So it's different, and I'm sure everything's going to be.
Look, when you win a championship,
up the
bro,
same.
you'll understand why it did it, bro. Look, I'm just saying.
Okay. But man, I love the show. We'll see what happens next week. I'm curious what you have to do, Igal. I'm not sure if you mentioned it with regards to Champions League coverage. And I know the team isn't competing, but what you're doing Champions League coverage, if you want to let the panel know or let the viewers know before. Because the draw's happening. Are you doing anything for the draw? Champions League draw.
When's the Champions League draw?
Arsenal aren't in the Champions League. You can't. No,
I know. I said I know your team's not in it, but are you like let the people know?
I
are
didn't
you
even
doing
know
something
when
for
the Champions
draw?
League draw was personally.
Oh, my bad. Okay, no.
Yeah, I just usually do a short little reaction video to the stuff like that, or
Say no more.
I put it into the next one. I thought you were saying I offered a show to you or something. I was like, what? When did I offer
No,
a show?
no.
I'm like, what the hell? I'm having conversations in my sleep. Anyways, big up, man. You already have it. You know what it is. Ron, big up. Hopefully Liverpool can do the business the next game. Vader, you have a good one. Alan, have a good one. Mojo, and everyone in the chat. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. Peace out, guys. We're out of here.